Welcome to Behind the Curtain, Nashville's movers, shakers,
and tastemakers.
Brought to you by Cord Real Estate, your key to the heart of Nashville. I'm Steve Luther alongside my co-host Van Hoye.
Here we peel back the layers of Nashville's vibrant scene, sitting down with the innovators, creators, and leaders who shape our city. From music to business and everything in between, we dive into the journeys that have brought them to where they are today.
We're here to uncover the stories behind the success, the passion driving their pursuits, and why they've chosen Nashville as their stage. It's about the people who dream big, push boundaries, and make this city truly unique.
So join us as we explore the heart and soul of Nashville through the eyes of those who know it best. So today we're joined by Adrian Davis, global leadership trainer, corporate keynote speaker, and founder and CEO of Momentum Leadership University. Wow. At the core of Adrian's work is a simple but powerful belief: people can be happy at work. And when they are, organizations perform better. That belief has shaped a career dedicated to helping organizations ignite momentum, master change, and build cultures rooted in engagement, purpose, and service. Adrian has led leadership development and learning initiatives across corporate, government, and global organizations, including senior roles with Bridgestone Americas, Nissan Global, and the state of Tennessee. Through Momentum Leadership University and Crown Davis membership, he partners with leadership teams to improve productivity, processes, morale, and customer service by aligning people with vision and passion, not just policy. With a background in architecture and systems thinking, got to hear about that.
Right.
Adrian brings a structured yet human-centered approach to leadership development, helping organizations create sustainable growth long after the training ends. Welcome, Adrian.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, after all
very
that,
welcome.
it's like, my goodness. What do you think of all that?
That's pretty awesome.
That's a bio right there.
Very good bio.
Not just policy.
Systems thinking.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So today, Adrian, I have to confess, this is my first time ever being the center host of this. Usually,
it's my first time ever being.
And we want to welcome Cheryl from Cord Real Estate. Yeah. So we've not done this, have we?
No, we have
not like this.
Nope.
So Steve is usually the serious side of this. I'm the softer side of Sears, as you might kind of say. And he serious, he has all the serious questions and whatnot, and I just kind of pop in with random things and kind of keep it moving and respond, because he's often thinking about the next question and trying to keep us on track and like making sure that there's something of value in what we're talking about. Me, I just am like in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And today, not too many hours ago, we found out that he was ill. Nothing too serious, but he couldn't be on camera. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And so instead of asking you to reschedule, we decided we were going to go for it. We got Cheryl, one of the superstar agents on our team, to show up, and we're going for it.
Yeah. So that's good. Well, I'll tell you, as a confession to you, is that fun is one of my core values.
Really?
So
love it.
While you're on the softer side of things, we work really well together. I don't believe that you should be super serious and that you take life serious. You got to be able to have fun.
Of course.
So it seems like you already embodied that, so I'm good.
Well, I appreciate that you recognize that, because I thought, I hope he doesn't feel,
Our kind of people.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to start with Steve's questions here, right? We'll to try to give him some content, whatever, right? But we'll see what happens. So,
all right.
So it says here, I'm supposed to say Adrian.
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
Oh, the editors are going to be like, what are we supposed to do with all this? Adrian, you said that you believe everyone can be happy in their place of work. Where did that belief come from, and how has it shaped your leadership philosophy?
Yeah. So first of all, Thank you, Steve, for that question.
Yes, Steve, we thank you for these questions.
Thank you for that question, and thank you, Van, for actually asking.
Absolutely. Hopefully, I delivered it in a way that just inspired you to just dig deep and come forth with something to, share with the world.
Well, I live by it all the time, so it's something that really does exude out of me. I have had my share of bad bosses as well as good bosses. And so you just tend to get more out of most people. And I've been doing this for quite a while, this leadership development, training and development, corporate engagement for a while. And you just get more out of people when they want to be at a place.
Right.
And so usually when someone wants to be at a place, it's usually because they're having a good time, they're learning a lot, and they're also giving back, or they feel like they're adding value to whatever it is. And so for me, I'm sitting here thinking, well, if that happens when people are excited and they're happy and they're engaged, then why don't we do more of that?
Right.
Sometimes I just kind of think simple in that way. And the problem is some individuals wake up and they got to go to work. They got to bring this report. They got to do this type of work. I just switch the words around and say, I get to go to work.
So do they know they're coming in to see that when they know you're going to be there? Like, how does this work for you?
Yeah. So in most trainings, no. And keynotes, maybe they have advertised a little bit, but most trainings, no. These people are looking at me and trying to size me up for like the first 30 minutes. Like, is this guy really real? Is this energy really authentic? And can he sustain it? So
they show up to give us the idea of a typical time when you're sharing. Are you running a leadership, like a team meeting, or are you speaking to a large group?
So a little bit of both. Like, I'll just give you an example. Just last week, I was out with a group of people. It was probably about 35 to 40 individuals, and we were there a whole week. And so we were going over different leadership skills.
I mean, were you there in a bar with them? Like you said, I was out with.
I was out.
Well,
I was in California. I should say it that way. I was in California.
I'm in California. I'm in Laguna Beach. I've got 35 people with me. I'm. No.
It was more of a classroom setting.
Right here.
It was more of a classroom
setting. Okay, you're in a classroom. Okay.
It was more of a classroom. Okay. Now, I will say, sometimes that spills out to later on happy hour, things of that nature. But, when the organization is bringing me out to work with their leaders, it's more in a classroom setting, or like.
So I'm sitting at a desk, we're at a long table, you're up at the front. And I'm thinking, okay, I have to endure this for the next day or two.
5 days, or 1 day, right?
And you show up. And you go from there.
Yeah. And, usually I'll let individuals know, hey, you're here now.
Right.
You may not want it to be. You may feel like you're voluntold to be here.
Right.
Your manager told you to do it. But you're here now, so let's see what we can make the best of. And then I usually start to go with this idea of, hey, let's just talk about the pain points. What are you dealing with? If you are a middle manager or if you're an emerging leader, you're probably having issues in these areas.
Right.
And those areas are, maybe I can't get people to do what I need to do. Maybe I don't know how to manage my time. Maybe things just seem overwhelmed. I wasn't prepared for this role. I was good at being a technician, being a person who can do the job, but now I got to lead other individuals.
Which is true.
It happens all the time.
When people are good at their job, they want to make them leaders, and they're like, hey, I didn't sign up for this, but I wanted to pay.
What to do.
Yeah. Usually you say yes because of two major reasons. First of all, you don't want to, close the mouth of the executives and say, well, maybe they're not going to talk about me anymore.
Yeah.
The second one is usually there's a bump in pay and, maybe a little bit more recognition or a title on the name. You're like, well, that would kind of be cool. But the other side of that is I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And the problem with that is not only can you waste a lot of time in your career, but you can also damage and mess up other individuals' careers. And that's where my passion really came out of. And
good.
For me, I've seen so many people who have been redirected. They left places where they thought they were energized to go to, and it's all because of management. And, there's a statement in leadership development in HR that says people will leave or stay because of the manager. I've seen bad situations. But because it's a us mentality and they love their leadership, they love their team, they'll stick it out. Versus I've seen some situation where it was beautiful. You would think from the outside, this is great. What are you talking about? This is an awesome place to work and reside and give back. But they hate their leadership and they'll leave it.
I've heard people don't quit jobs, they quit bosses.
That's exactly right.
Is that true?
That's exactly
I've heard
right.
that too.
Yeah. I've been self-employed my whole life. So, if I quit myself.
You quit on yourself, right? Don't quit on yourself.
But I have to say, the root word of vanity is van. So, I just look in the mirror and I go, yeah, baby, yeah. We'll see if they use that clip or not. Now, you're a senior. What's your title, Cheryl?
Senior agent.
Yeah, I feel like there's something else to it. But what did you think when you were moved to the senior status?
Well, I was excited.
Were you excited?
Very excited.
Yeah.
Very, very excited.
Okay. Because you do great helping to train new agents.
Yes. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Success.
You rock.
Success.
Oh my. Yes. Hey, that's on the poster. I mean, I'm the only one that could do anything wrong in this group, but we won't go there. Whoops.
I'm coming back.
See, he's just said he'll come back.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
So Momentum Leadership University focuses on helping organizations ignite momentum and master change. What does momentum actually look like inside a healthy organization? Yeah,
so even with a healthy organization, the idea is, can you sustain? I remember working with a group one time, and I got the opportunity to be able to work with all three layers of the organization, and it was a municipal organization. And
wow, okay, so we're talking government.
Yeah, it was a beautiful opportunity for them to get to see themselves.
Cool.
So I got to see baseline, frontline, middle management, and then the execs.
Mm-hmm.
And what came out of that is we went through exercises with the frontline and the middle managers, and they was like, man, there's some issues. And then I got to speaking to the execs. They were the last class, and they were like, oh my gosh, we're great. We're awesome.
Right.
And I was like, well, that may be
for you.
Right. I said, because there's previous other groups. And one person was very, very indignant. He was like, we are on top of the mountain. We're great. I was like, the problem with that.
Do tell.
Is that any other place, any other movement, if you're on the tip of the mountain, is down. So you got to stay there. And so that being able,
how do you do that?
Exactly. You got to be very, very watchful, mindful. This whole thing about EQ, it really does have to show up in a healthy organization to make sure that you are sustaining there.
Right.
Because what happens is you start thinking, hey, you're reading your Monday morning headlines and thinking we're great, we're awesome. But then are you seeing what the change of time, the change of the employee stream that's coming in, all of that, are those issues that are being missed? And you got to go through and use those tools, those things that really connect you back to the people that you're serving, especially if you're in a leadership role. Because what will happen is, I often tell and spend a lot of time with the individuals that I'm working with, is that people not serving you. When the higher you go, you have now more of a responsibility to be able to turn around and help them. And one of my old bosses used to say, block and tackle for them. Right. Make it easy for them to do the job that they need to do. And so sometimes people elevate and move in the organization and totally forget that. They're thinking, all right, I'm starting to arrive. Yeah. This is kind of cool. The office looks good. I got a great view. Tell whoever that is to bring me some coffee, whatever.
Right.
And they forget that there's some servitude that should be happening now because you've possibly gone through those ranks. You've experienced some of that. Right. How can you help those other individuals? And I think that's an opportunity.
Servant leadership kind of
thing. You just sit there and you start to see how in many organizations people start to miss that. And especially if they brought anyone from the outside and they didn't go up through the ranks in the organization. I mean, there's many, many ways that you can see how things could happen like that. And so when momentum comes in and we're working to help individuals, that's the idea. It started out of a conference when back in 2018, and the idea was an object at rest stays at rest until acted on from an outside source. That's kind of the scientific side of it. I want to be that source that acts upon the entity to make sure it's moving. And even if it's moving, can it move faster? Can it be more efficient, more effective, more productive? Because in, the life, what we're trying to do is be more, right? Be more productive, have more happiness.
That's right.
Whatever it is, make sure. And so I really focus on goal setting, trying to figure out what is it ultimately that you want to get. So when I'm working with individuals just individually in the organization, I start off, hey, what's your goals? What do you want to get out of this relationship first so that we can move towards it? Because, the coaching is going to kind of be the same. It's just going to be focused on what are you after?
Right.
So we can see two individuals in the same role, but have very different. One may say, hey, I want to spend more time at home. Other may say, hey, I'm trying to make a little bit more money.
Yeah. Right.
Well, they're in the same role, but the action points, the things that they have to go after, the tasks are very different. And so what we do is we identify that, and then I get to be the accountability person. I tell people I'm in your dream. I get to be a part of your dream, and that's what's so awesome about my life. I walk into an organization, I connect with them, I say, now I'm a part of your dream.
Right.
The other thing is I'm very competitive, and I don't like to lose. So I say, okay, we're not losing. You said you were going to do this.
Wow.
There you go.
Let's get it.
That.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I get really energized about this, but I mean, that's exactly what happens. So
I like
say, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I can go and get it.
I like what you were saying. Like you some of the things you have to say to the managers versus people who are working under them, the upper leadership and then the middle manager, whatever. It's a different message kind of thing. Because I know, like when I was in the music business and I had a large staff and I had a festival company and some things that I was always telling my team and my staff, I say, okay, here's the deal. You got one job. Your job, I'll put it this way. I'd always say it this way. I'd say, listen, my job, I'd start with mine. Say, my job is to make you happy, period.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Your job is to make me look good. See, I'm like I said, vanity. I said, but that's the thing. It's like, if we're all doing our job, right? Because I had 120 people on tour, and we had a large group. And I said, okay, anybody's over you, your job is to make them look good. Whoever's over you.
Yeah.
Whoever's under you, your job is to make them happy.
Yeah.
So that's why, I might have written the checks, but I was walking around handing out waters.
Yeah.
I was walking around doing my thing, checking on people, making sure everybody feels good. If they needed help in the merch stand or whatever, I was jumping in there slinging merch. I didn't care, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It's like, you got to know what your role is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think when they realize that you're being genuine about it, it inspires them.
Exactly.
Because you actually care.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I wake up every morning. I'm driven by that. And oftentimes I'm not wakened by the alarm clock because it's like I get an opportunity to see a new group of leaders every other day, right? I may be in a different city every other week. And the idea is, okay, people are still people. I know AI is on the cusp. I get it. And I say this all the time. Until the robots take our jobs, we're still here.
Right.
Sure.
And even from the global side, when I did work, people are still people, and there are predictable things about us. And it's just, you don't need research to do this, but there is research around it that shows that when people are happy at work, they do better, right? And so sometimes it's just having a conversation like, is this really the space for you?
I didn't make that up, by the way. Just because you're here. Because, I told you I didn't prepare. I'm just reading all this for the first time.
No, exactly. No, and it just flows out.
That was my role.
Yeah. It just flows out.
I was like Mr. Rourke, Welcome to Fantasy Island. Smiles, everyone, smile.
How many of those word uses does he have? Right?
It's a fantastic day.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we call our staging here vandalize. Let me vandalize you is our slogan. You think I make it up? It just comes. It just flows. So much of your work centers on customer service culture. Why do you believe customer service is often the clearest indicator of an organization's internal health?
Yeah. So when you think about anybody who has siblings, this is going to make a lot of sense. My mom, she had 3 boys, and
bless her.
Yes, exactly. That's where I'm getting to, right? And we were fighting all the time.
Yeah.
We were tearing up stuff all the time. And
it's kind of your job.
It's kind of our job, right? At home, that's what we could do.
Right.
But she would always stop us before we went out and say, hey, whatever you do at home, that's at home. But when you go out, you better act like you got some sense.
That's good.
Right? And so what happens is you try to have organizations that try to do this thing where they try to serve externally when they got so much going on internally. And it just boils over. And when someone doesn't respect someone in the background, it just starts to show over when you're interacting with someone.
That internal respect.
Respect. So there's an internal customer as well as an external customer. Wow. And a lot of organizations are trying to appeal to the external customer without making sure that the internal customer is taken care of. And the organizations that you see that don't do that well also are suffering on the external piece as well. When you look at the companies that show up in best place to work, usually have great external scoring as well. It's because, first of all, we found out that what are people energized by? What are they motivated by? How do we make sure that the morale is high internally? And then it's just a byproduct. You're going to do a lot of great work, external with the customer. And so what I did when I left the state of Tennessee is I wrote a book called Beneath the Surface of Customer Service. And I just focused on, hey, here's the external, you're working with them. But also, and this comes from my architecture background, when you walk up to a building, when you walk up to a stadium, when you walk up to something, it's also a experience of how that works as well, right? But a lot of that comes from people are not going to do that external work if they don't feel like it's healthy internally. They don't feel like they're respected internally. They don't feel like they're giving back and providing value internally. And so, you have people jumping from one organization to the other because they're really trying to answer the question, do I belong here and am I happy? And sometimes they won't ask themselves that. They just deal with, I'm just not. And so as soon as another opportunity comes, then I'm able to do that. So when you think about customer service, it really needs to be done internally as well. And so I usually provide a small assessment as well inside of the class. And when we do that, just to kind of figure out, hey, where are you? Where are you in this cycle of customer service? Are you the technician that just loves doing the job? Are you more of a manager? Or are you more of the person who gets to provide the vision, but you need someone to carry it out? Because all of those three pieces matter, and you need all three pieces.
So do you do like reviews at the end of your events and things where people can like how you back
survey?
Like a survey, like after you take a class in college, they would have you rate the professor.
Yeah, so we do evaluations, sometimes assessments.
You get insight.
Yes, Well, and when I do my conferences called Momentum, like I said, that's where it started. It's called Momentum, the speaker series for that. The idea was, how can we be more of assistance to you? What could you get more out of this? And so the last one we did, we provided on-the-spot coaching for every person there.
Wow.
So you have a whole day, you got all these speakers, they're speaking to you, getting you motivated, giving tips and things like that. But we were pulling out, I had other coaches with me, and we're pulling out individuals and said, hey, this time next year, what is it that you want to get out of life? 10 minutes. Was able to coach them to something that they can think. And I said, you have to fill this out before you leave this building.
You gave them a golden nugget to hold on to.
Yeah. And they came up with it. We just drove it. Just drove it. And that was our way of saying, hey, if nothing more, you had came in with a piece of paper that was empty and you left out with goals written down on it. Now, my job, of course, is to be the accountability person, is to reach back out and say, hey, it's been 6 months. How you coming on that? Right? Because
and we all know to do that sort of thing, but until we have somebody like yourself, we don't necessarily take the time to do it.
Exactly. And I am one of the first partakers. I do all of this, and the reason why I am so sold on it is because I've seen it work in my life. I
can you give us an example?
Definitely. I pretty much lost everything back in 2009, 2010 with that old, that housing, right? Because
you and me both.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I had a for-profit development company where I was buying and flipping houses. And then I worked with my mom's nonprofit, which was a HUD certified counseling agency. So we get people prepped, make sure they can get homes. Well, when all that happened, everything shook up in my life. So all I knew how to do was hustle hard. I didn't have a plan or a structure or any kind of process on how to move forward and accelerate. As I started to got my job, I started to understand that personal development and career development was major. And so I started doing goal setting. And I started out doing this in a cabin. And I was like, okay, one time out of the year, I would do something what I call a projection and a reflection. I would reflect over the previous 365 days and project the next 365 days.
How did you do on that?
Well, you get
every goal I've ever set, I failed. I quit having goals until I met Stephen Ashley.
Well, I'll tell you what happened was I got really grateful because 365 days can be a long time. You can experience a lot.
Right.
But then for 2.5 days, I sat there and worked in 5 major areas. Now, I say this is going to be edgy, but I live by the effed up life.
I focus, be edgy. We don't mind that here.
I focus on faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun. All right.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, those 5 F's. Love and it. Those are the goals that I keep looking at once a month, multiple times a quarter. And then I'm trying to figure out where I am. So that's health. You're sitting there trying to make sure, am I healthy enough to get to the goal that I said I want to get to? Because sometimes what we do is we put all our energy into trying to get there and let our bodies go down.
That's right.
And so, you got to stay balanced. Am I forgetting about my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I forgetting about my spiritual side of things? Am I meditating? Am I praying? Am I focusing? And then, of course, that fun piece. Am I actually going out and enjoying myself?
Sure.
And so I really had to make
Jesus
sure
had fun.
He did.
Dude, first miracle in the Bible he did was turn the water into wine, and they said it was good.
It was good, right?
They said it was the best. I was just saying,
Right.
I was just saying.
That's what it said. So, I mean, to that point, I think that being able to make sure that I'm doing this and I start to see my life do this, right? Not only just monetarily, but also the value, also understanding why I am here in this moment, doing what I'm supposed to do. How am I supposed to be serving right now? And so, of course, after I did that, it made it easy for me to talk about goal setting. It made it easy for me to talk about accountability, because if you keep something in front of you, you're going to consistently look at it. You talk about the scientific side of it. It's that reticular activating system in your mind that keeps showing things. So you'll start to see stuff that you hadn't seen before when you put the goal in front of you. You're just like, oh wow, this is happening.
So there's science behind these what are these boards that
vision boards. We do one every year.
Yep. And I used to be like, that's just for people in Amway, and then, nothing against Amway, but friends made lots of money in the 80s in Amway, but I'm like, vision boards.
Yeah.
And now I've got a vision board. I look at it and go, well, I want all that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
There's science behind it.
And I'll tell you. The reticular.
I got to look that up when we're done.
Yep. I've heard of it.
But, I got to give a shout out to my best friend and one of my business partners, Tim Bond. He has been with
Tim Bond.
Yep. Tim Bond. He'll see it eventually, and he'll know, and he'll probably echo the same thing. You got to have some people who are going to push you and say some things that you don't want to hear in the moments when you just want to be like, I just want to relax. Not time for that. Right. You got to push because you said you were going to push.
Right.
This is important to you because whatever that because is, right? And so, there's times he wanted to quit. There's times I wanted to quit. At one point in time, we went 2 years every day talking to each other. It didn't matter what time zone I was in. We used an app called Marco Polo, and we would put something out. Yeah. And so, if I was East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. Whenever he would wake up and say, hey, this is what we do. This is what you said you was going to do it. Right. How's it happening? I remember one time I was out there I was in a session and I was on break, and he said, hey, you said we were going to record ourselves doing, I think it was like 50 push-ups. And he was like, I hadn't seen your push-ups today.
Oh wow!
And so
now I don't need a friend like that.
Yeah, I'm suited and booted. I'm suited and booted, right? So I got my suit on and everything. And so I look and I was like, hey man, I got my suit on right now. I was like, maybe I'll do it when I get back to the hotel. He said, that's not what you said. He said, you're on break. What you could do is put that camera right there and hit the floor.
You could have started your next session with that on camera. Wouldn't that have been great?
Right.
I could have. But nevertheless, I hit the floor and I did it.
Oh, did you?
Wow.
I did it.
Awesome.
Because first of all, I respected him enough for doing that. But also our bond was so connected. And I know he did that because he could have let it go.
Sure.
But we agreed that that's what we're going to do. And that's the type of connection that I love to have with all the people that I work with, all the organizations, because I have to sometimes say, hey guys, what I'm about to tell you is not going to be fun, but it will get you to where you want to go.
But you seem to have a kindness in you that you can deliver that kind of message.
Yeah.
And it be received.
I tell people all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
That is right. That is right.
Because sometimes I can get tough, but I'm wrapping it up nice, man.
It.
Put a little bow on it.
Steve says that about Van, doesn't he? Oh yeah. Let's see another Steve question. I don't even want to go back. This is good.
Yeah,
this has been good. I know we're coming down to the line here, but you've obviously worked with a lot of different types of organizations, government, private, big companies, small. What kind of leadership challenges seem universal regardless of the industry and size?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's changing quite a bit, but one of the ones that's historic, and then maybe I'll give one that's kind of facing us today, is first of all, I think there's a miseducation or a misopportunity to educate whoever the new leaders are going to be. Once again, we talked about
like bringing up new leaders.
Yeah, what happens is that whole argument of, is a leader born or are they made, right? And so sometimes people believe, oh, they're born, and so they were great at delivering on this, they're going to be great in leadership. And it's a whole separate set of skills for that. And so when you're thinking about that, those leaders, they oftentimes come in, and this is the biggest thing that they struggle with, is that they believe that they have to be good at everything that they're managing their people on. And that is a misnomer. That's a misnomer.
Say that again.
Yeah. They believe that they have to be good at everything that all their people are doing that they're managing. So if you have, let's say, you were talking about you had 150, you don't have to be the expert on everything that their people.
Amen to that.
You just have to know how to actually have the skill to manage people to get their best out of them.
Hire the best at what they do.
Yep. And that's another issue. Sometimes people will hire people and don't trust their own hire.
Oh, right.
So the micromanagement comes, and then people start to say, okay. And so, I work through models that way to show them, hey, this is when you are micromanaging. This is when you are not micromanaging. This is when you're leaving people by themselves and they need you. So things like that. More recently, I think the leadership piece is, how do we stay relevant with all the new technology, the AI threat, things like that? How do we make sure that our people or I, if the leader is questioning, that I'm staying up with the times? And so do I have to become an AI genius? Well, not necessarily. The question is, can you still lead the people who are running the AI systems, processes, and technology?
So do you think that is the blind spot of most organizations? Just where people are feeling like they have to be, or they can't be the best at every little thing, or
because
inspire them.
Well, yeah, because what happens is people act multiple ways when they start to feel like I'm losing control, right? Some people shut down, other people hover a little bit more, right? And so understanding how people are responding could be just the fact that they feel like it's spiraling out. They're losing control.
Or they get imposter syndrome and they're like, how can I be the boss of this?
Yeah. And I mean, it's a real thing, but one of the ways that you can do that is understand what you are good at and try to figure out, hey, this is why you brought me here, or this is why I was elevated. I'm actually working on content now, really being able to translate your value to leadership. Because most people are providing value, but don't know how to translate it. And so what happens is, it looks good, I appreciate your work, but I'm not ready to elevate you because you can't speak at the leadership level, the C level, the E level, right? And so being able to help those individuals make that jump from, I am managing people, I'm doing this, versus, hey, I got work done because of me.
Right.
They're not really interested about the work that you're doing just because of you. Is, can you build a system or something that's sustainable that can live if you're there or not?
That's good.
Yeah.
And see the value and what people bring to the table.
Exactly.
And whatnot. I know for me, I I couldn't see anything outside of the music business for me. And Steve was the one who's like, oh, I see this. You could do this, this, and this. And I was like, I do not see any of that.
Yeah.
But he showed you.
But
and you
I still don't know. I just show up and you know.
Yeah.
And,
if you've ever seen vandalized.
But I mean, that's what you need. You need somebody on the other side, right?
That's right.
You know, every doctor needs a doctor,
call that
right?
forward.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I've been dominating this conversation. I haven't even let you speak. Cheryl,
go for it.
Speak up.
What's our next? You want me to go to the next?
We gotta land this plane. Okay, let's see here. Looking ahead, how do you see leadership development evolving, and what do organizations need to prioritize to remain relevant and effective in the years ahead?
Yeah, I think that the relevancy is really going to be you being able to communicate better, right? A lot of times,
are we back to AI?
Well, not necessarily even just AI. It's just been something over time that people have been able to get away with.
Right.
This is what I thought. You need to understand me, learn me as a leader, and then you'll be okay. Where now it's going to be one of those things, and the shakeup happened in 2020 when people realized, oh my gosh, I got options.
Right.
I can work from home, and I don't have to come into the office. Oh wait, maybe I'll go to this other organization that values what I'm doing from work from home. Right. And so you start seeing, and it used to be phrasing like, war on talent that just popped out during that period of time. And people were moving and shaking, but the idea was happening long before now. And the idea is, can you communicate your intentions? Can you communicate what you're trying to do? There's things that your heart is good to help your people that you lead, but you're not communicating it. And so they are misconstruing it. And then they're not asking the questions, and then they leave, and then you lose great talent. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, I mean, the amount of money that walks out the door, the amount of institutional knowledge that walks out the door, the companies are, they're bleeding with all this knowledge that's going out, and you can't afford that now with technology moving as quickly as
right,
and things like that. To have somebody who has your company knowledge plus the technological knowledge, and then you just let them walk out the door because you didn't choose to get better at communicating, which has been a leadership staple for a long time.
That's good. So if somebody wanted to work with you or have you come in to inspire their team, how would they reach you?
Yeah, you can email me and my team at info@momentumleadershipuniversity.com.
And Cheryl, this thing, we talk with movers, shakers, and taste makers. We got a mover and shaker here.
Yes, we do.
I don't know about the taste making yet. We haven't.
I can cook too. I'll tell you that.
You gotta come back.
Yeah, I love to cook. Back,
right?
We like food.
We do. Well, we appreciate you being here. Is there anything, any last little nugget of gold you'd want to share that maybe might inspire somebody, or just kind of represent you in a way that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, the inspiration piece is probably where I would go from that. Anybody who's listening, I want to let them understand that wherever you are today is because of a series of decisions and tasks and actions that you did yesterday, years ago. If you want life to get better, you want your situation to get better, change who you are today. Mm-hmm. And your life will change.
And you provide some accountability for that.
And I'll provide the accountability for that. Yeah.
And you get right in there with them, it sounds like.
I do.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you for being with us. And
thank
Cheryl, thank you for joining me.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. Hopefully Steve will be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Behind the Curtain, Nashville's Movers, Shakers,
and Taste Makers.
We hope you've been inspired by the stories of passion, perseverance, and innovation right here in Nashville.
A big thank you to our guests for sharing their journeys, and to you, our listeners, for joining us. And of course, our gratitude to Accord Real Estate for making this conversation possible.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform.
Thank us.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I guess I did. Well, thank us. Okay.
Like I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe on your favorite platform to catch every episode and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more fascinating guests lined up, ready to share their insights and inspirations.
And we love hearing from you. So reach out to us with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for who you'd like to hear from next.
Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and making your mark in Nashville.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember,
I'm talking to Casey
it's
Kasem.
the people behind the scenes that make the city shine.